The champion, the queen, Kenzie Page. Her throne is secure, the crown untouchable, and her reign supreme. At Samhain, she conquered Ruthie J in a hard-fought battle, proving once again why she is among the best in the world. But in the same auspicious evening, Samantha Starr earned her very own shot at glory. Soon, she will challenge the NWA's reigning queen. 2 women, 1 title, a clash of styles and destiny. And then there's the World Tag Champions, the Destroyers, on a path of obliteration, blunt force trauma. They annihilate and humiliate opponents. They rule this very historic division. At Samhain, they put Knox through a round table, and with the help of a most familiar knight, retaining their titles and putting an end to the Crockett Cup Winners Championship Rally. 2 titans, 1 mastermind, a path of unbridled mayhem. This is the NWA, where history lives and where legends are forged.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Hour of Power podcast. I am Trey Davis. I'm joined with Knighton Thompson and Justin back on the podcast this week.
Yeah.
Yay. Now we can give you hell again. We love it. No, just kidding. I attended the tapings this week. I've got a lot of information on that. I've got information on the CW deal. A lot of news going down in NWA this week, and we will get into it. But first, we are going to talk about Power this week. Knighton, how have you been this week?
Well, getting used to having 3 days off again, but it'll be there slowly but surely. Just don't call me Shirley. Other than that, been fine.
Nice. Justin, how was your trip?
My trip was amazing, especially I was in Cologne for the WWE live event, and it was stunning. It was really, really stunning. I mean, I didn't have any voice for 2 long days, so it was really worth it.
Yes, I remember that. You were unable to be on the podcast because of that and your trip, but yeah, even if you wanted to, your voice was completely out.
Right?
So we've got a lot to talk about, like I said, with NWA this week. I attended the tapings Saturday night with 3 other people. I want to quickly talk about our results show that we were unable to put out on Samhain. Unfortunately, Blake had some kind of injury. I believe he injured his ankle or broke his ankle and had to spend the evening in the ER. So he was unable to attend the Cleveland, Ohio Samhain show. So we did not put out a results show. We've just had a lot of stuff going on here lately. But we will try to put out a results show every time there is a pay-per-view, whether there be somebody there in the audience to attend it or not. But yeah, he was unable to attend it and is like, wow, that was kind of my main selling point on doing that show, was having somebody that was live there in person that could give us, reactions and what all went down and how the show came off in a live setting. So, guys, let's start off this week with Power. It was the Heat Seekers taking on the Southern Six, Ricky Morton and Alex Taylor. This is another, tag match. I'm telling you, that's the one thing I took away from these tapings, was how deep the tag division is. It's like they've gone out of their way just to find, a ton of indie tag teams. And that's kind of what I took away from this tapings. It's just a ton of tag matches. So yeah, Knighton, well, let's get your thoughts on this match with the Heat Seekers and the Southern Six.
The Heat Seekers actually looked very solid to me, and with the Heat Seekers being former NWA Tag Team Champions, it gives them the credibility that they sort of deserve to be in the setting. Sigmund reminded me a lot of Dean Malenko, not only in looks,
I got those vibes too,
but in the way that he worked in the ring. He was just very, very smooth, and I was like, Okay. I want to see more. And this match was very, very good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Elliot, where the hell is the line? Oh, Elliot Russell. There we go. My notes. I'm still waking up. Everybody, give me a minute.
It's all good.
Cogs are fucking working, but the smoke's coming out of the ears. Yeah, this match was just very all solid around. Elliot Russell looked solid. Kerry looked solid. Alex Taylor looked solid. Just everybody shined, and Southern Six picking up the victory was the right move. Pushes them further, establishes their team. Just very all around damn good match.
Yeah, they've got a good chicken shit heel vibe. They talk a lot of shit. I am enjoying this tag team. I feel like they're making for a great heel tag team. Maybe a U.S. tag title run in the near future. Justin, were you able to catch this match?
Yes, indeed. I was been able to catch this match, but I kind of want to catch up what you said, Trey. There. I don't think they gotta go for the U.S. tag titles because winning over former tag team champions of the NWA, I think like this is a perfect way to set up Southern Six to dethrone BFT there because if you're gonna see like this, that those team is probably one of the I would probably say the most favorite asked team on NWA at the moment. So I could really see that Southern Six is gonna be the NWA World Tag Team Champion by like 2024.
Could definitely see that, but you don't see a lot of heels versus heels, and that's why I said possibly they maybe go for the U.S. tag titles. And with Thrillbilly having the U.S. title, it's kind of like I don't know, or the North American title. I could
The
just
national title.
or the national title, excuse me. I could see all of them holding those titles. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, yeah, I would love to see it. I wouldn't mind seeing that matchup. But Blunt Force Trauma, kind of a heel tag team, Southern Six heel tag team. I don't know if they go in that direction, but you never know. I mean, Blunt Force Trauma could lose the titles and next month, let's just say, and then there you go, you have it lined up like you just said. So you guys are gonna have to carry me through. They did not do any interviews at the tapings. So I am unaware of any kind of podium interviews or any kind of backstage segments. I believe there was a Southern Six interview after this match. Am I correct in that?
That would be somewhat correct. There was a advertisement. It appears that Rolando Freeman and Rush Freeman have kissed and made up, and they're holding auditions to be a spectacular. And this was a reoccurring theme throughout the show. So Trey,
Oh no!
maybe you could be a future Chippendales dancer too.
Well, I don't know that I have the body for it or the looks.
Listen, neither did Chris Farley, but he still managed to do it.
Oh my God! But he had the charisma. I don't have that kind of charisma. The way he shook that belly. My God. Yeah, I've noticed that too. The little spectaculars guy. Oh my God.
Rolando.
Okay, Rondo is teeny tiny, but he's great. He's got so much energy and charisma. Dude just kind of, I don't know, he just kind of made the match for me just on the outside. But yeah, that guy is freaking hilarious. They did film something where they're recruiting new members to Spectacular, a new member, but that was also done without an audience. And I want to say that the entrances are done without an audience.
Yeah.
The way they came out, it was like, whoa, there's no dimming of the lights, there's no music, there's no, they just walk right out. So I believe they film any kind of backstage segment, interviews, and entrances before the audience even gets there, which kind of surprised me. Yeah,
Yeah,
Go ahead, Justin.
I mean, this is really a great way to do it. Honestly, I already mentioned that in the first episode. The way how NWA Powerrr is gonna presenting his product, I think they gotta go with the right way. I mean, doing like entrances, filming that without the crowd. I think this is how it's going to be presenting. Like, you don't need to have like the 1.5 minute entrances like that you see in the WWE or like in AEW as well as in Impact Wrestling.
Especially with just a 1 hour show.
Exactly. With a 1 hour show, you can't put like 2 to 3 minute entrances, and then you have like, I would say, 5 minute matches or some kind of thing like that. I mean, basically what I'm thinking about with the entrances is, Jesus Christ. I think with the entrances, I really think that they should keep it just like that.
Yeah, I like it. It's kind of an old school little deal, but and being in a TV studio audience, I see why they do that, because it's gonna be really awkward when they're coming out and posing, and just the way they make their entrance and everything, and the slow mo and all that stuff. I feel like it might be a little awkward having a live crowd just kind of sit there and watch that.
I mean, you have to imagine that when we're looking into how Powerrr was then back in the days, with the first few episodes with like Eli Drake and Mr. Kennedy and Mr. Anderson. I'm sorry, I was about to say Mr. Kennedy here.
Well, that's all right. That's what you go by.
They had legit no music except for like on the pay-per-views. Like when I watched the first Hard Times in like in the Powerrr era, they had like entrances, but if they doing like Powerrr tapings or like Powerrr episodes, they don't have entrances. They have like legit 30 to 45 seconds to walk into the ring or walk into the podium to even sell themselves. So
it's very short distance between the entrance and the ring.
Exactly. I mean, you said it right. They are in like TV studios. They have not like this whole huge setups with stadiums and all those stuff. So I gotta think that the difference to the entrance and the ring is perfect, well known. So compared to what NWA Powerrr was first and NWA Powerrr was now, it evolved very, very good, and then especially throughout the pandemic era.
Yes, I agree. So the Southern Six interview, they're just pretty much putting themselves over. I think we're getting a Thrillbilly EC3 match sooner rather than later. The way they're kind of positioning that. Did y'all watch the interview, the promo by the Southern Six? Go ahead.
This was an okay promo. They mostly just talked about the Robarts arena taping, and they were talking about how honestly everyone should be thanking the Southern Six for putting asses in seats, selling the tickets, getting people into the arena. Although I did get a really good kick out of Thrillbilly's line. We're going to bang them like a gong on Chinese New Year. I fucking busted out laughing for that. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Thrillbilly on the mic. I'll sit there and listen to him for 45 minutes. I don't give a shit.
Yeah, he's a great shit talker. And he's just a dude. He came out and did autographs at the end of the show. And my God, this guy is freaking huge. This is a guy that you would not want to step to. I can promise you that.
He doesn't miss too many pork chops.
I had no idea he was that big.
I mean, imagine when I would come over to the US. I'm 6'11".
Oh my God. You're gonna fight.
I mean,
honest.
Here's a funny story about my Cologne trip. I wasn't alone on the WWE live event. I had a woman with me, She is like 5'3".
Oh, Jesus.
Just imagine that. It's like from the size of Ronald, something from the Spectaculars, compared to me, 6'11". Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna make some memes of you and Chris Adonis on, and we're gonna put it on our IG account very, very soon.
Jesus
I've
Christ.
got some really, really funny shit in mind.
Don't be
So-
starting shit that fucking
Oh,
Justin
God.
can't get
Look
out
for
of.
that to drop very soon.
I'm waiting for the messages because I know I'm gonna be the one that's posting them. Because and
I can't wait till Chris Adonis when he actually listens to this podcast and he hears this and he's like, "Who the fuck is this Justin guy? Tell him to come on down to the tapings. I'll whip his ass."
like I said on a prayer, I think it was our first episode. I got $100 on Chris Adonis.
I
Yeah,
got 200 on
the
Chris
first
Adonis.
episode.
They also talked about during the first match, they had showed the matches coming up for next week.
Mhm.
We have
Oh.
EC3 versus Talos for the NWA World's Championship.
Which I saw. Very excellent.
The King Bees versus Pretty Empowered for the women's tag titles.
Oh,
Saw that. That was a very good match. That might have been the best match of the entire tapings.
Colby Carino versus Mo Jabari. Let me know if I'm pronouncing that correctly.
Oh, there's a lot of new talent that debuted at the tapings. I don't know if this was considered enhancement talent, but you had a few squash matches here and there.
And then Blake Troop versus Koa Laxamana.
Ooh, that's where I got my lay from. Yeah,
You got laid there?
out in the crowd. Yeah, I actually did, but not in the way that you're thinking.
I know the way you got it, just not the way you wanted it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, there you go.
All right, we're gonna move on to match number 2: Missa Kate versus Max the Impaler for the women's television title.
Oh,
now for me, this match was very solid. I like this. Although Sal joined in on commentary and you could barely hear him. And I know I might be slightly deaf, but I had my volume up and it was like, dude, I can barely hear what you're saying.
Freaking the start time or the time limit was very, very short. Of course, I didn't know this watching it live.
Yeah, it's 6 minutes and 5 seconds.
Wow. Yeah, that's not very long to beat somebody like Max Impaler.
No, it wasn't. But Missa Kate did put up a hell of a fight against Max. Max didn't do a whole lot. Just got what was it, a body chop in, and then just a couple of moves. But the knee to the back of the head of Max for Missa, that looked like that hurt. But that clothesline that Max delivered, I think that would have made John Layfield proud. My God.
Max dominated most of this match, and she was in another match for, I guess they'll put it on next week or the next week. I don't know. But she absolutely squashed the other female that she faced, and it was an enhancement talent. The girl just, spent most of the time running around, crying, like literally crying.
Spoiler alert, everybody.
Yeah. Spoiler alert, sorry. But I mean, once they see this, they're gonna be like, okay, that's a squash match, so it's not that big of a spoiler.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's being positioned very, very strong, being booked very, very strong. And I'm wondering, where are they going with her since she is the champion? Are we getting an eventual Kenzie Page and Max Impaler match? I don't know. That's an odd pairing as well because they're both heels. I don't know if that's where they're going with that. Maybe Camille. Camille is pretty much a face. You could have Camille go after the TV title now. I don't know. It's just a thought. Thinking out loud a little bit.
I don't know how I feel about
I know
that.
it seems almost beneath Camille after she's held the world title for
so long,
forever.
Yeah.
All
right, we're going to move on to promo number 2. We get the King Bees talk.
I haven't got my thoughts out of the TV
I
title match.
forgot. Yeah, well, that's what happens when you don't show up to a fucking podcast for a couple weeks.
Yeah, see?
All right,
Damn
go
it.
ahead, Justin. Yeah, give us your thoughts on Maxine Taylor.
I'm gonna say like this. I don't want to be the one who's gonna be in the ring with Max the Implanter. Damn, she is a beast. She is really a beast. I mean, compared to the other, like, how should I say this? Uh, without getting cancelled, to the more powerful women, like what we have in the wrestling world. She is actually the one who you really can believe. She's really powerful, she's dominant, and she is rightfully the women's television championess. I mean, that was a perfect match to have, like, the one who stood no chance against the champion, against the one who's been really pretty powerful and squashed everything out of the way. That was really perfect, one by one. And I think this leads to the way, if they decide to keep Kenzie Page as women's championess, I think we're gonna go and see a rematch from NWA 75.
And what was that?
Maxi Implanter dethrones Kenzie Page for the women's television title.
Impaler.
Yeah.
Maxi Implanter, sorry.
Time will only tell on that. I don't know where they're going with her. They continue to book her very, very strong and very dominant. So I just kind of wonder where the end line is. Who's the threat to take this television title off Max Impaler? I don't really know. They haven't really gave us a clear direction on that as far as a contender, a really top contender for that women's television title. But yeah, let's move on. Let's talk about. I believe the next thing was another promo, correct?
Yep, it was the King Bees. The commentators didn't know who they were, but after this promo, I was very impressed with the King Bees. They came in. They're like, listen, we know we're new talent here in the NWA, and we're starting at the top. We're going right after the women's tag team titles. But be prepared. This is who we are, and this is what we're here to do.
Right. And again, they had, and I guess their match is next week, correct?
Yes.
And it was probably the match of the entire tapings. I would say one of the best matches of the entire tapings for me. I thought it was a great women's tag match, but no spoilers there on what ends up going down there. So go ahead and continue, Knighton.
Both Danny B and Charity King made very good first impressions with me, and I'm sure a lot of other people. And I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of more of these ladies within the next future. So,
do you have what it takes to wear the bow tie?
Do you have the? Is this still on? Sorry.
Do you have what it takes to be a spectacular?
Next we have up is EC3 and an EC3 promo. Again, I did not see this. This was filmed without an audience. I do believe he is interrupted. If anybody wants to take over on what happened here.
Yep. So EC3 comes out. He's talking, and they actually announce the match that will be taking place at the Robarts Arena. It will be Jax Dane versus EC3 for the NWA World's title.
Money match.
And the last time Jax Dane held the NWA title was October 21st, 2016. He lost it to Tim Storm after holding it for 419 days by gaining it on August 29th, 2015.
Wow.
And I did hear him in a promo talk about being a former NWA champion. And of course, I wasn't following NWA then. I had no idea what he was talking about. I was like, really? Is he just talking about any NWA championship? But no, he was talking about he is a former world champion, and they've booked him very, very strong in the last couple of months.
Yeah, the way that Jax Dane presents himself,
Mm-hmm.
it shows that he's a businessman and he wants to do business and he holds himself in a high degree and a high standard.
Right.
And this match at the Robarts Arena between EC3 and Jax Dane, I think, is going to be a barn burner.
What happens in this promo? Does he come out and insult him, or is it just kind of like a friendly jab back and forth?
A little bit of both. In my perspective, in my point of view, Jax Dane goes, listen, I want that title again, and the Overman, his title reign is going to be over, man.
Ooh, man.
I was like,
Great
Jack.
oh.
I love how when people are shitting on EC3, he just always gives like this little smirk. Like sure, buddy. Sure.
And the entire time when Jax was talking, there was actually at one point Jax goes, look at me when I'm talking to you.
Ooh. Wow. Well, what did you take away from this, Justin?
I would say like this. I cannot wait to see this match, especially when this match is gonna build up pretty nice and pretty good. I really can see that this gonna steal the show. If Jack Stane is gonna be dethroning EC3, nah, I don't think so. I mean, EC3, I told this already, it was a great decision that he left WWE. Otherwise, he would be stuck and forever known as like the Dixie Carter guy. And here he proves me once again why he comes off from the image of Dixie Carter. So, with all that being said, EC3 is building up momentum from being a great, and I mean really great NWA NWA World Heavyweight Champion,
Mm-hmm.
as well as Jack Stane. If you build him up nicely and show the crowd he can be a contender for the
Yep.
world title, then this match could be magic.
I'm telling you, and I think I said it on a podcast previously that they have been building him for a while, and I thought that might be where they were eventually going to go. EC3's playing the good role where he's taking on all challengers and comers, and it's making his reign as champion look stronger and stronger. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to this matchup. I'm guessing it's going to happen in about 3 to 4 weeks, maybe towards the end of November is what I'm guessing, because the tapings are, I believe, are
November
they this week?
18th.
November 18th. Yeah, I would bet money towards the end of November, maybe the first week of December, you get that matchup. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing how they book him, if they're going to continue to book him strong, but they also, have to book EC3 strong. Like Justin said, I see EC3 having this title for a while and really, making him your guy, as far as the face of your company. So the next we have Blunt Force Trauma taking on Magic Inc. Enjoyed this match very much so, and yeah, this was a very good match. And Magic Inc.'s valet, she is awesome, and she is freaking ungodly beautiful. I've seen her in person, and I just thought, it's like, wow, this whole presentation, I've talked about it the last few weeks. Magic Inc. is a very heavily gimmicked tag team, but man, do I enjoy these guys so freaking much. It's kind of to me, it's a little bit of a throwback from when I was a kid, and you have these over the top gimmicks that I just miss so freaking much. But yeah, CJ, strange. She's awesome too. She never breaks character, and like they'll be beating up on a tag team if you ever notice, and she's like doing the whole presenting thing the entire time. She's great.
Yeah, I
Uh,
noticed that several times. She would just be in the corner
mhm.
by the ring post, and she'd just stand there, just like, here ye, look at
Yeah.
it, it's beautiful.
It's so great, man. And then of course, Aaron Stevens is just he just riled up the crowd the entire time. This guy is a freaking genius. I think he's probably the best thing going, in my opinion, in NWA right now. I'm a little bit biased because I am such a fan. But this match was highly entertaining. And of course, Stevens had to get involved and give him the old magic fist. Uh, but yeah, this has started a nice little feud, which I was able to see kind of play out throughout these tapings. And there's quite a bit they have planned for this feud. And of course, I'm not going to spoil it, but it does culminate around Thanksgiving. I will say that.
Oh,
I've actually have it on in the background right now, and CJ's doing the whole presenting thing as they're slamming them in the corner. She just does it the entire match. It's great. But what did you guys think of this match? We'll start with you, Knighton.
I thoroughly enjoyed this match. I love Magic Inc. I love Blunt Force Trauma. I thoroughly enjoyed this match. There was nothing that I really had any complaints about. Although I will say this, CJ and Cody James, it throws me off once in a blue moon.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was like, I know the Barker, but it's like, I know his initials are CJ. What the hell is his name? Just know him as the Barker.
nah.
They're like, Cody James is like, got it.
Yeah.
Take it down in my nose. But other than that, this match was very fun to watch. CJ getting involved, grabbing the foot of damage, which gave Magic Jake an opening, was able to tag in Cody James. Very, very smooth usage of the manager and valet. Magic Inc. hit their finish, but Carnage was not the legal man.
Mm-hmm.
And Aaron Stevens throws something in the ring. Ref gets distracted, and Aaron hits Cody with the loaded glove, and that was all she wrote. Very solid showing of both teams, and I want to see what else is in store.
Oh yes, there's a lot in store. CJ kind of running off Aaron Stevens a couple of times when she felt he was getting a little too involved with the match was hilarious to me. He was kind of like running away from her, like he was scared of her somewhat. I thought it was great. Justin, what did you think of this matchup?
I thought this was really entertaining. I mean, first of all, before I'm gonna go more into in-depth details, Blunt Force Trauma reminds me of the tag team Aaron Stevens and the question mark. That reminds me 100% of it. I mean, um, the difference between the BFT and like those two were like pretty simple. They have like the similar tag team style. Um, but like in the in-depth analysis of the match is that this match was a really great tag match. I mean, BFT as a heel tag team always sells out in the tag division, and I really can see that BFT is gonna go into the way of one of the greatest tag teams in like the 21st century. And I mean, I want to keep up what after the match was. CJ rewards Aaron Stevens for interrupting in the match with a low blow. That was so funny.
Yes. Yeah, Aaron Stevens sold that perfectly too. This was a highly entertaining match. So again, I enjoyed this matchup. I enjoy how deep the tag division is. Real quick, I felt like Blunt Force Drama's finishing move is actually Aaron Stevens' punch. I've noticed, and I will point out tonight that the feud with Murdoch and Knox seems to be completely over with Blunt Force Trauma. I thought that's what I said. They kept saying it in the video package that would be their last match at Salwin. So after seeing the tapings, I don't even know for sure if there is a Knox and Murdoch tag team.
Well, hey, look at it this way.
Mm-hmm.
Future. is always unknown.
Yeah, that's true too. All right, we're gonna go to a promo next. You guys will have to carry this one. What do we have from Chris Silvio, and what does he have on his mind?
This one I kind of glazed over. It was like 3 a.m. when I watched this. I was like, I need to go to bed. They basically are just hyping up the match next week between Blake and Koalaxamana. I thought it's really weird to have both opponents within the same space doing an interview. It was very unique and something that I'm 100% not used to. And it's just like, when that happens, I'm always expecting, there's going to be a brawl that breaks out. So for me to get used to this dynamic of having the opponents right next to each other doing an interview, it's just going to be with time. But they basically just hyped up the match for next week's Powerrr episode.
Yeah, a pretty good match at that. I was able to see that one live. It was very good. And like I said, I got the lay. She was throwing out the lays, and me and Logan got one. You know, we had to beat up a kid to get it, but you know, we got to do what we got to do. Just kidding.
Survival of the
no,
fittest.
it's mine, you little brat. Get over here.
That is just like in the NBA games. If you catch a baseball and then you're gonna fight with a kiddo, that's my fucking ball, you little bag.
That's right. You got to do what you got to do.
What did you do this weekend, little Billy? I got beat up by 2 old men for a lay.
Yes. I didn't know I was going to be in a wrestling match at the show. Let's talk about. I think we got a promo next from Pretty Empowerment, and they've got their bodyguards out here holding their titles. Usually, or during the matches, they usually hold their titles. Let's talk about this. You guys were able to see this. I was not able to see this live. Knighton, go ahead.
Just another one I glazed over because it was 3 a.m. They basically just are introducing the King B King. Oh my God, King B's dyslexia's a motherfucker.
Very early in the morning, fans. That's all we do. We do it very late at night or early in the morning when we're fucking super tired like idiots. So
I know I need more coffee.
Justin, were you able to catch this interview?
Yes, of course, I catch it. Pretty Empowered is probably one of the best damn things that is going on in NWA Powerrr right now. I mean, they are really so entertaining, especially with the idea of the bodyguards holding the women's tag team titles. Yeah. It's just fucking funny. And in my notes, I see like they praise Jazz about that she found King Bees. Just give me a second. And
pause for burp.
No, all good. I had a bonbon in my mouth. So yeah, I cannot wait what's going on next week with Pretty Empowered and the King Bees. I mean, I really can't see that somebody's gonna take those tag team titles away from Pretty Empowered.
Yeah, I'm interested to see who that will be because they seem to be rocking and rolling here lately. They're pretty unbeatable. Kenzie Page as well. They make an awesome stable, though. They've got that whole I'm better than you, bratty vibe going on.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of Kenzie Page, we have our main event right now.
That's right. Terror Rising taking on Kenzie Page. This was also a pretty good match. I got a ton of pictures and stuff like that we'll be releasing on the IG account. I wanted to be respectful to NWA and not put out any like celebrations of who won the match and kind of, put out those spoilers and everything.
Yeah, you know how hard that was to go through your photos and try to figure out which ones didn't show any matchups or spoilers or shit like that?
Logan Frazier sent me like 140 something photos. That's another guy.
My.
Yeah, that's why I was like, whoa. I didn't take that many pictures.
I know, because
So-
when you were sending messages at like 10:30, 11 at night, I was like, Trey, I love you, but shut the fuck up. I'm trying to sleep.
That was a fan of me. I was just so. Wait a minute, you're trying to sleep on a Saturday night at 10:30?
Yeah, some of us have to work at 7 o'clock in the fucking
my
morning, so we got to get up
God.
at 5:40 in the morning.
Oh, I'm sorry. I get my weekends off.
Fucking,
God.
I'm an old man, even though I'm the young.
Oh,
probably
wait
the
a
youngest in
minute
this
now.
fucking-
Yeah,
youngest
Glad
this
that you
fucking
recognized
podcast.
it, Knighton.
Wait, Justin, how
I'm
old
an
are you?
old man. It took me days and days and days just because I didn't get back till like 2 a.m. to recover from that. I'm like, I was tired for like 2 days straight. I'm like, God, I'm so freaking old.
Hold on, Justin, how old are you?
24.
All right, I'm not the youngest.
Ah. Well, all right, let's get to this main event. It was a good matchup. Knighton, what did you think of the match?
Very strong showing of both women here. It was a back and forth contest. Both Kenzie Page and Taylor Rising had control at one point. They were just trading it back and forth, but Kenzie got the upper hand, and after a while, mostly just gained control of the match. I loved this match. It was a nice showing. It gave the women a lot of time to breathe and a lot of time to show off their ability and skills. Taylor Rising was very impressive. I've got nothing bad to say about her. I liked the match against Pretty Empowered at Samhain. She did very, very well there. So it was nice to see Taylor Rising in her own capacity be able to show off what she can bring to the table. That Kenzie cutter looked vicious as hell at the end, man. That was it. That's all it took was the Kenzie cutter.
Yeah, Kenzie was majorly over in Nashville. She seemed to get more of a babyface response than really a heel response. I've noticed in this matchup. Really played up the crowd, got the crowd really involved. Pretty much, she kind of cupped her hand to her ear, kind of like, "Hey, wake the fuck up, get up for my match." Basically, talked a lot of crap in between some of her moves. Good little match. Justin, what did you think of it?
I think about it that Kenzie Page is gonna be leading into a tweener role, I would say. I mean, she's over in the crowd, but she is basically more like heelish. So I think she's gonna go into a tweener way. I mean, Kenzie Page shows everybody why she was the one who dethrones Camille at NWA 75. And in my opinion, she is on her way to become the best women's championess I've ever seen. This match overall, it's got to get my match of the week from NWA Powerrr, because this is how you close a show with a strong and intense women's bout and leading into all probably in some future feuds and in some future bouts. I mean, I really cannot wait for this.
Yeah, and quickly, we didn't really talk about, like I said, we didn't talk about Salwin. We didn't do the results show. I believe that she had the match of the show with Ruthie J. Even though the Colby Corino match was highly entertaining, I went back and watched where they fought out into the crowd. Enjoyed that match very much so too. But I thought Ruthie J and Kenzie Page was a match that I wasn't like super looking forward to, especially compared to other matches that were on that card. But I thought that the two women really brought it and stepped up their game, and it was way, way, way more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. Knighton, what did you think of this main event with Terra Rising and Kenzie Page?
Refer to prior statement.
Oh yeah, that's right. I already asked your opinion on it. Sorry. I think I got lost in the weeds, and then I was like, "Oh shit! Don't forget to ask Knighton's opinion on it."
Yeah. Sorry.
Well, that's how we'll end the show. Basically, big fuck up, and
Story of our fucking lives.
Kenzie Page gets the win here. So I guess she had the match of the this show for me. But of course, I watched several matches for the tapings. All right, so we need to talk about the CW deal. We need to talk about rumors. We need to talk about the Coke spot. with James Mitchell, and oh my God, where do we start with all this shit?
Well, we know that booger sugar is frowned upon in said establishments.
Yeah, even though it's on pay-per-view. So I remember right before we headed into the tapings, and I was in a group chat. I think y'all were in the same. Yeah, y'all were in this group chat, and we had people giving their opinions on this Coke spot, which supposedly hurt their CW deal. And I just thought it was kind of ludicrous. Like I said, it's on pay-per-view. It's not on YouTube. I imagine, honestly, I don't think a ton of kids were watching Salwin. I think that in the NWA product, of course, is geared at any fan, any age, limit. But I do think that it appeals more to a 18 to possibly 60 demo, or you know what I'm saying? Like it's not that it's like a R-rated product, but I don't see the big deal in something that is it's just almost a comedic spot on a pay-per-view at probably around 10 o'clock, 9:30 maybe. I just didn't see the big deal in it, and I don't see why that hurt their CW deal. I don't, from what I've gathered and talked to people from NWA, is that that did not really hurt their chances, their CW deal. It is yet to be totally confirmed that the NXT is going to CW. It was never totally confirmed that NWA is going to CW.
Oh no, it's been confirmed that NXT is going to CW.
But WWE has not announced this. I have not heard.
CW has announced it though.
On their CW site?
Yep. I saw a press release today or yesterday.
Okay. Well, I didn't see that, but maybe that's the case. I don't know. I do know that after talking to some people at the tapings, I don't think that CW was ever too interested in Powerrr. I think they wanted the backstage show, and the backstage show is footage that they have been filming for probably around a year, and I think he's been shopping this around, and possibly with the success of wrestlers, maybe that was his thinking, like I can shop this around and this will draw people to the Powerrr product. But that was the whole plan, was that I had heard that their backstage show was actually going to CW, in which it may still do it. I don't know, unless they have this like really short-term deal. I don't know all the particulars on that. It could be a situation where maybe there is some kind of short-term deal where they're just airing this backstage show, possibly just on their app. I don't know. It's a lot of wait and see. I'm still waiting to hear back from people within NWA on certain things, and how this story is kind of playing out. And if, like I said, the Coke spot, from what I've heard, didn't have much to do with it. That was, I don't know. I haven't heard anything on CW executives being pissed about that. If they were, I think that's kind of completely ridiculous, or maybe they're using that as an excuse to get out of the deal to go into this NXT deal. Not really sure. But if you go back and you listen to that interview with Billy Corgan, he talks about 2 networks that he was in talks with, and close to coming with a deal with. So we'll just continue to cover that story. Guys, what do you think about the controversy?
If I may allow to start, here's the problem after all. Wrestling fans are really too soft. They are blinded by the WWE product, all giant friendly and all those stuff. But once they turn into an NWA pay-per-view, which is, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, it was produced and it was entitled to Vicious, Uncensored Violence with Samhain. So, with all that being said, wrestling fans out there, put yourself on the own fucking nose and stop bitch and complain about that somebody's putting some coke on their noses. maybe if you all think yourself there, it wasn't really Coke after all. Maybe they put some sugar or like legit
Well, no, yeah,
nothing.
that's not in question. I'm sure it was fake Coke. I hope, anyways. But
Yeah, I mean, and then especially a pay-per-view, uh, those wrestling fans pissing me the hell off. They think like they have the whole like knowledge of the promo world. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, and I don't know, step yourself some foot into the wrestling ring, and then we could talk about what's going on in the wrestling business. So, with all that being said, wrestling fans, if you don't know what to do about it, shut the hell up, sit down, and watch the fucking product.
well, we had a person in the group chat that was just appalled, but that they did. I cannot believe they did that, and da 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 da. I'm like, dude, how many times have you seen drug scenes in movies and television shows that are on cable? This was on pay-per-view. This is not geared. I wouldn't say it's specifically geared towards children. I don't see the big deal in this. I think it's a little bit. I think it's overkill, and it's just the society we live in. That if that was done, if that spot was done in the '90s, yeah, it might catch a little bit of flack, but overall, I think people would get over it pretty damn quick. Knighton, how do you feel about it?
Well, to kind of refer to a prior discussion that you and I had while I was extremely intoxicated, I think the internet wrestling community is very harsh and honestly kind of toxic. They have the
Yeah.
same mentality as pack wolves. They just find the dumbest thing to bitch about and they just hound on it. I'm going to be real with you. When I saw the Booger Sugar spot, I was laughing my ass off.
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
I was laughing my
It
ass off.
fit the fucking scene, you know? James Mitchell's been drinking all fucking night. Okay, yeah, the man's having a
And
party.
you had Gags over there just kind of sitting with him and kind of like, kind of rubbing the Coke on his lips or whatever.
Yeah.
I just thought it was great, man. I thought it was funny. And I didn't see the big deal in it.
Yeah, it's just something to light the mood, and everyone's all pissed off about it. It's like, fucking really? Out of everything you're gonna bitch about, this is it? Okay.
Well, didn't wrestling fans have a tendency to pick and choose sides, which I think is absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like almost like the company is paying these certain fans. You're a loyal WWE fan. You have to hate everything. Everything else that's not WWE, you shit on everything that's not WWE. Fuck anything that's different. Let's stick with this formulaic. I can't say that word.
Formulaic.
WWE fucking style. Sorry, I get tore up about this because I think it's completely ridiculous of why you can't enjoy everything that's out there. If it's something that you really dislike, just don't watch it. I don't see the big deal. I remember being burnt out on watching Raw because it's 3 hours long. And somebody, I think it was Rodney, a good friend of mine who I did the Georgia Indie podcast, basically said, man, if you don't like it, just don't watch it. I'm like, you know what? That's a good idea. I'm just not going to watch it. Instead of just, watching it to bitch about it, I'm just not going to watch it.
Yeah, that's.
And I wish wrestling fans would take that approach. And more than likely, if something is, the majority of think that it's bad, it's going to change if you turn it off.
Trey,
So go ahead.
stop being so logical.
Yeah, just ridiculous, man. I just think it's stupid. Like, there's stuff I really hate about AEW, but I don't just go bitch about it all the fucking time. I still enjoy AEW. I think the match quality in AEW is awesome. The matches are great. They've got a great, talented roster. It's just not storyline heavy enough for my liking, but I still watch it and I appreciate it. I don't sit around and go in the AEW Facebook and bitch about it in the comments about, I just can't stand it. If I want to tell them that I really don't like it, I'm going to turn it off and I'm not going to give it any attention.
Yeah, I mean, and that's partially the reason why I love watching the NWA so much. One, it keeps my short attention span fucking kept. Sorry, I can't
Right.
sit there and watch 2-3 hours of TV. I can watch an hour of TV, not even.
Mhm.
It barely reaches an hour. It keeps me
Yeah.
entertained. I know what's going on. Everyone knows what's going on when it comes to, okay, hey, these are the matches, these are the promos, these are the stories. Fucking, there you go. That's all you need to know for this week. This is what we're building towards. This is what we're doing. Everything is clear cut. And that's just one of the many things that I like about the NWA. There's so much more. They have such an eclectic roster. And it's a lot of people that some you know, some you don't. But you get that tasting of the talent, who they are, and their abilities. And you're like, all right, I want to see more of so and so. I want to see more of so and so, and this. And it just keeps building and it keeps me entertained. And I'm not listen, nobody paid me to say that. That's out of my own fucking mouth. It's out of my own mind. Boom. So
But something fresh and different. It's not like AEW. It's not like WWE. And, that's why I watch AEW. Hey, AEW has got, they do certain stuff better than WWE. And WWE does certain stuff a lot better than a lot of companies, to be honest. But NWA is fresh and it's different. There's really nothing else out there like it. And whether you look at wrestling from an old school perspective and you like that kind of wrestling, and it's also got a fresh, it's also, I've said, it's got a fresh take on it as well. So I thoroughly enjoy NWA, and I enjoy them all to a certain degree. And I just don't understand why wrestling fans as a whole cannot just enjoy it all. Just enjoy it all. You don't have to pick sides. There's no allegiances. These companies give a shit about you as far as that.
too easy.
Yeah.
Too fucking easy.
All righty. Well, rant over about that. We'll have to see what happens with the CW deal. Doesn't seem like they're going to be going with CW. I'm sure with the NXT news coming out in just the last few days, I'm going to guess that we're going to hear something from the NWA side on whether it had anything to do with the Coke angle or it was just a simple, hey, this deal was never officially, announced. And I told you I've got other networks that I've been talking to. And even EC3, talked about it at the tapings that 2024 is going to be NWA's, biggest year yet. And they've got a lot of stuff on the horizon. And we'll be here to call it because it's the Hour of Power podcast. Guys, is there anything you want to say before we sign off here? Justin, go ahead.
All I can say is, stop bitching and complain about some things that you really don't like. If you don't like NWA, so don't watch NWA. If you like NWA, please make sure to follow us on Spotify, Instagram, X, as well as, I do believe, on Facebook. We are all everywhere, the Hour of Power Pod, on all of social media channels. So with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, you are going to hear the three most dangerous words in the promo universe today. In embrace the alliance.
Oh, Lord. All
No,
right.
for
Night.
fuck's sake. I don't drink
Night.
enough.
You got to beat that.
Just means I don't have to buy fucking cable TV now. Thank you. I don't have fucking TV.
I don't think a lot of people don't have cable anymore. To be honest with you, I just stream all my stuff. I do have an antenna that gets me like, the 4 or 5 basic channels we have in the area. So
You're gonna have to get a digital converter box.
Oh, am I?
Unless if it's a antenna outside. Otherwise, if you have an antenna on a TV, yeah, you have to have a digital converter box because that TV is set up to analog and everything's digital.
Right. This is a digital antenna.
Oh, then you're fine. Yeah, you'll be able to get it. Yeah, I haven't, dude. I haven't had cable since I was in high school.
Honestly, like it has been years since I've had cable TV. You've heard for years that everything is going to streaming, and now they're saying not so much. Cable's still alive and well,
I don't know.
but I am not going to pay those cable prices, man. No way.
Yeah, I like having NWA Powerrr on YouTube. I love the pay-per-view being on Fight. And the only thing I'm excited for is November 10th, I will be getting my sweatshirt. I wanted to order a t-shirt, but it would not let me continue to shop. So, NWA, fix that.
NWA, bring more merch to your events too, because you only had like extra large, and that is way too big for my small ass and Knighton's small ass. So
Yeah.
we need something smaller. I'm not saying a small or medium, just a large, just something, that's
Hey, I need a fucking
good...
medium, pal.
Okay, well then you need a medium, yeah. And Justin would need the extra large for his 7'2".
Ass.
Yes.
Right.
So nothing about Matt Cordino about this show. He never really, they didn't do anything with him. I don't know. He's like in MLW. He's everywhere. Jesus.
He's a whore. What do you expect?
He is. He's an indie wrestling whore. I hope he hears this. He's an indie wrestling whore.
Your mother.
All right, that's how we'll end this podcast, with calling him a whore. Your mother's a whore.
He's a heel, motherfucker.
He is. He's a great heel.
Yes.
So we will be back next week to talk about NWA Powerrr. It's been a pleasure, gentlemen. I appreciate you being on the line.
Thank you.
Deuces.
Deuces.
Boom.
Ooses.
See you next week, NWA fans.
Oh, yeah.